The Cartier name is supposed to mean luxury, diamonds, watches, old money, red carpets, royal families, and some of the most expensive jewelry in the world. But in 2026, one man carrying the Cartier name was not making headlines for diamonds. He was making headlines for crypto, drug money, shell companies, fake business records, and a laundering network that moved more than $470 million. His name was Maximilien de Hoop Cartier, a descendant of the family behind one of the most famous luxury names on earth. And according to the US Department of Justice, he helped operate an unlicensed cryptocurrency exchange that washed hundreds of millions of dollars in criminal proceeds through the American financial system. In April 2026, he was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison. So this is not just a story about crypto. It is not just a story about money laundering. It is a story about what happens when luxury, status, technology, and crime meet in the same place. Because the Cartier name was built on wealth, but this case was built on something much darker. The question is, how did a descendant of a luxury dynasty become part of a $470 million crypto laundering network? Before we go further, let's be clear. This is not rumor. This is not gossip. This is a federal criminal case. According to the US Department of Justice, Maximilien de Hoop Cartier pleaded guilty in October 2025 to operating an unlicensed money transmitting business and conspiracy to commit bank fraud. Then, in April 2026, he was sentenced to 8 years in prison. The government says he used shell companies, crypto accounts, forged invoices, fake contracts, and US bank accounts to help move criminal proceeds from the United States to overseas networks. And in total, prosecutors say Cartier personally helped launder more than $470 million through his shell companies. That number is what turns this from a normal financial crime story into a riches and ruin story. Because this was not a broke man trying to survive. This was someone connected to one of the most powerful luxury names in history. To understand why this story is so strange, you have to understand what the Cartier name represents. Cartier is not just a jewelry brand. It is one of those names that instantly creates an image in your mind. Luxury boutiques, diamond necklaces, gold watches, private clients, old European money, celebrities, royal families. The brand was founded in Paris in 1847, and Reuters has described Cartier as a French luxury brand with a long history tied to European royalty and Hollywood celebrities. So when people hear the name Cartier, they don't think of crime. They think of prestige. They think of wealth. They think of a world where money is polished, clean, and respectable. And that is exactly what makes this case so powerful. Because prosecutors say the money in this case was not clean. It was criminal proceeds, drug money. And instead of moving through back alleys and suitcases, it moved through crypto accounts, fake companies, and banks. The man at the center of the case was Maximilien de Hoop Cartier. The DOJ described him as a resident of France, a citizen of Argentina, and a descendant of the Cartier family known for luxury jewelry. At the time of sentencing, he was 58 years old. But outside the courtroom, there was another image too. Online, he appeared to have a public music identity under the name Max Cartier. His Instagram profile describes him as a crooner and promotes his music, including a single called Somos Novios. That gives the story a strange contrast. On one side, you have the luxury family name. On another side, you have the music persona. And behind all of that, prosecutors say there was an unlicensed crypto operation helping move money for criminals. That is the part that makes the story feel almost unreal. Because this was not the typical picture people have of a money launderer. It was not just a shadowy figure in a dark room. It It was someone with a famous surname, a public image, and access to the kind of social circles where wealth already looks normal. And sometimes that is exactly what makes a financial crime harder to see. Because when someone already looks rich, people ask fewer questions about where the money is coming from.
According to the DOJ, Cartier ran an over-the-counter cryptocurrency exchange. In simple terms, that means he helped clients buy and sell crypto outside the normal public exchange system. There is nothing automatically illegal about over-the-counter crypto trading. Large investors and businesses sometimes use OTC desks because they want privacy, speed, or large transactions without moving public market prices. But the problem in this case was not just the trading. The problem was the money. Prosecutors said Cartier's operation played a key role in an international money laundering network. The network used the U.S. financial system to move hundreds of millions of dollars in criminal proceeds through the United States and then to Colombia and other countries. And this is where the scheme becomes important. Because crypto can move quickly. Bank accounts can make money look legitimate. Shell companies can create a fake business story. And when all three are combined, dirty money can start to look like normal commercial activity. That was the machine prosecutors say Cartier helped build. Crypto came in, shell companies gave it a cover, fake business records made it look legitimate, bank accounts moved it through the system, and eventually, the money was sent further through the laundering network.
The most important part of this case was not just crypto, it was the shell companies. According to the DOJ, Cartier operated and controlled a large network of US-based shell companies. These companies were created for the purpose of converting cryptocurrency into hard currency. Cartier opened more than a dozen bank accounts in the United States, but prosecutors say he lied to banks about what the businesses actually did. He allegedly claimed the businesses were in software publishing and software development. On paper, it looked like tech, but according to the government, the companies existed for one real purpose: to receive and transmit drug money and other criminal proceeds. That is where the story becomes bigger than one man. Because modern financial crime does not always look like crime from the outside. It can look like a startup. It can look like a software company. It can look like invoices. It can look like contracts. It can look like normal bank activity. And that is why fake paperwork matters. The DOJ says Cartier used forged contracts, invoices, and other business records to make the money look like it came from legitimate business activity. In other words, the paper trail was part of the disguise. The money did not just need to move, it needed a story. And prosecutors say Cartier helped create that story.
According to the DOJ, the funds eventually moved through other parts of the laundering network before being withdrawn in local currency in Colombia. That detail matters because it shows the scheme was not just about hiding money inside America. It was about moving money internationally. The government said the network funneled hundreds of millions of dollars from the United States to overseas criminal organizations. And that is why law enforcement treats money laundering so seriously. Because money laundering is not just paperwork crime. It keeps criminal businesses alive. Drug trafficking organizations do not only need to sell drugs, they need to move the profits. They need to hide the source. They need to turn criminal money into usable money. And if they cannot move the money, the entire operation becomes weaker. That is why prosecutors often say, to stop crime, follow the money. In this case, the money trail moved through crypto, shell companies, bank accounts, and international networks. And at the center of that trail was a name most people associated with luxury: Cartier. The first major crack came in 2021. According to the DOJ, a court issued warrants to seize 3 accounts held by Cartier's shell companies. Those accounts had received around $937,000 in drug trafficking proceeds from an undercover law enforcement account. After the seizure, Cartier and his lawyer met with federal agents and prosecutors in Pennsylvania to try to get the seized funds returned. That alone would have been risky. But prosecutors say Cartier did something that made the situation worse. They said he admitted that he had told banks he was in the software business instead of saying he operated as a crypto exchange. They also said he acknowledged operating as an unlicensed money remitter. But then, according to the DOJ, he lied to federal agents. He allegedly claimed he had Know Your Customer procedures. He allegedly said he was applying for a money transmitting license. And he provided forged business records to support his claim to the funds. Based on those lies and forged records, part of the seized money was returned to him. That detail is crazy, because according to the government, even after law enforcement seized money from his accounts, Cartier still tried to make the operation look legitimate. He did not just hide from the system, he walked into the system and tried to convince it that the money was clean.
But eventually, the case caught up with him. On October 23, 2025, Cartier pleaded guilty. He admitted to one count of operating an unlicensed money transmitting business and one count of conspiracy to commit bank fraud. Then, in April 2026, he stood before a federal judge in Manhattan. The sentence? 8 years in prison. He was also ordered to pay more than $2.3 million in forfeiture. According to the DOJ, that amount represented funds he kept as commission for his work converting cryptocurrency into hard currency. He was also ordered to forfeit certain shell company bank accounts. And just like that, the image collapsed. A name connected to diamonds and luxury was now connected to prison, shell companies, fake software businesses, and drug money. That is what makes this story different. It is not just another crypto crime. It is not just another laundering case. It is a case where the symbolism is almost too perfect. Cartier represents wealth. Crypto represents speed. Shell companies represent secrecy. And together, prosecutors say, they became part of a machine that moved hundreds of millions of dollars in dirty money.
The deeper lesson here is not that crypto is automatically criminal. It is not. The deeper lesson is that every new financial system creates new opportunities. For honest people, those opportunities can mean speed, access, innovation, and freedom. But for criminals, the same tools can mean something else. They can mean movement. They can mean distance. They can mean confusion. They can mean money crossing borders before anyone fully understands where it came from. And when that kind of technology is combined with status, confidence, and a respectable-looking business structure, the danger becomes even greater. Because dirty money does not always arrive looking dirty. Sometimes it arrives through a company that says it builds software. Sometimes it arrives through an invoice. Sometimes it arrives through a crypto wallet. Sometimes it arrives behind a name people already associate.
Maximilien de Hoop Cartier's story is not just about one man. It is about how money changes shape. It can look like crypto. It can look like software revenue. It can look like international business. It can look like luxury. But behind every transaction, there is one question. Where did the money really come from? For decades, Cartier meant diamonds, watches, wealth, and status. But this case added a very different chapter to the name. Not a jewelry showroom, not a red carpet, not a luxury campaign, a federal courtroom, a guilty plea, a money laundering network, and 8 years in prison. So the question is not whether the money moved. It did. The real question is, how much dirty money has already passed through systems that look completely clean?
Like and subscribe for more stories like this.